Welcome to the Mystic Psychology Podcast. I am really happy that you are here in the space where your spirit meets your everyday life and your energy becomes your guide. I'm Charlotte and I'm here to walk beside you as you reconnect with your truth, your intuition, and the deeper layers of who you truly are. Welcome to this episode of the Mystic Psychology Podcast. I'm super happy if you are here again. And if you're here the first time joining me, then my name is Charlotte. I'm the founder of the Mystic Psychology Academy. I'm an intuitive, a channel medium, and a coach. And I teach energy work and everything that has to do with energy work and combine it with psychological grounded tools so it can be embodied in day-to-day life. And today's episode is about a question that I get very, very often, and maybe you can relate to it. It is, what is channeling? And what is behind this mystic practice? And what can you do with it? And how does it work? And why is energy work important for it? And so many other questions that are in combination with channeling. And I want to answer these questions today for you to really understand what channeling is and what it is not. And my journey has started many, many years ago. And it took me quite some time to actually trust and really embody this practice because it came to me in a more organic and very subtle way in the beginning. And I was very rational. I was very much in my mind. I couldn't believe it. I was always like, is this really true? Could it really be that? Does it really exist? And it took some years for me to really get out there and put this practice to availability for my clients, for myself, for my students. But it has been worth it a million times because channeling is such a precious tool. And it's not only a tool, it's more something you become once you start opening up to energy. And my way with channeling started years and years and years ago when I started in coaching and I started working with people. And I had visions when they were telling me their problems, or I had visions when I did my Reiki sessions. And these visions were, yes, pictures from the childhood or scenes from their life, and so on and so on. It was like I could really literally see from their energy field that there was something they wanted to transform. And my clients at that time started telling me, without me telling them, oh, I have this memory came up from my childhood, this scene from my life came up, and it always was identically with what I have seen. And at that point, I thought it was a coincidence. I didn't really believe. I didn't want to believe because I was scared. I was scared that I could maybe misinterpret or that I could harm somebody or that I couldn't deal with what I was seeing and feeling. So I kind of pushed it away, but I started becoming aware of it, that it was there. And by the time, when time went by and I started coaching more and more people and did more and more Reiki sessions, I started building this muscle of trusting in this capability of what I'm seeing and feeling in my intuition, basically, and my psychic capabilities of being clairvoyant. After all these years where I was working with people, there was this one point where I really realized that channeling actually works. And it was Easter, and I did a distant healing Reiki session. I was sending it to friends and clients in a group setting. And in this Reiki session, I received a message, and it was a number and it was a sentence. And this number and the sentence were from the Bible, and I've never read the Bible. And I am not religious in the sense of church, but I believe in spirituality. So I received that, and it was like this voice in my mind, but I realized it was not my voice, it was something else. And this voice told me, check it if it's true. So I went to Google and I put in the number and I put in the sentence, and it was exactly that number and the sentence in the Bible. So what I've received was actually true. And in this moment, regardless that I got goosebumps all over my body and I felt like, oh my God, what is happening to me? And how is this even possible? And I was just like astonished. I was sitting on my sofa. I was just, yes, I couldn't believe it, what just happened to me. In this moment, I really realized, okay, there's no way I can further neglect the fact that there is this capability. And even then, I didn't start channeling until my Reiki master initiation, when there was a being in my initiation, and my teacher, or my aunt who knows me knows that my aunt was also my teacher, Reiki master, and she initiated me, and she said, there's a different being here, and it keeps on coming into your initiation. And I started feeling it as well and started channeling it with her. And I channeled that being for 2 hours with information about planet Earth, where we are going, what we are doing here. And this being was an Arcturian. So for other people who don't know who Arcturians are, they're star seeds. So the Arcturians are aliens, basically, and they support planet Earth in different ways to help in the evolution. And every species have their own way to support planet Earth. So I started channeling this being, and for 2 hours, and that was actually the first time I really, really let a different being into my body, consciously aware, and let it use my body to talk to my aunt. And from that point on, I started channeling. I started officially channeling for my clients, for in my Reiki courses or in my returning to energy courses. I started channeling for my students because there was information for them that wanted to come through from their deceased family members, from other species, from husbands, from wives, from all kind of energies that wanted to support the person in front of me in their healing process. And truly, this is also the only time I channel, is only if it supports the person in front of me or the group in front of me, and if the being and the energy allows me to channel it. I never, well, never say never because it's a dangerous word, but I try not, and I believe I do not, channel for curiosity. Because it's nothing to play around with. It's nothing to, yeah, let's, I'm curious and let's try it out and let's see what's happening. So I have a very conscious and aware way to deal with my channeling practice. And I want to go in now what channeling actually is, and invite you also to tune into your truth. Because as a channel medium, I learned one thing, and also working with energy, is that every single person has their own truth. And it's very important that you tune in to your truth, because this is really what I feel where we're going to in the future is about finding your unique truth. So everything I'm saying and telling and sharing is my view, is my truth, and is an invitation for you for expansion and finding what is actually true to you. So channeling, and this is the message I received from my guides, let's call them my guides, who explained to me that channeling is actually nothing different but frequency, energy. So how can I imagine that? Everything has frequency. Everything has a vibration because everything is energy and everything is sound. So if you want to look into this to find more a proven and also visual effect of it, there's called something like cybernetics, and you can Google it, because in cybernetics, you can see they put sand on a plate and they play music. And when they play the tone of the music, the sand, the visual of the sand, the form, the shape changes depending on the sound, the frequency. And this is true to everything. So everything has frequency. Every person has a frequency. Every plant has a frequency. Every tone has a frequency. Even a table has frequency. Everything has energy and frequency, vibration. And when a channel medium opens up to the energetic world, it is about tuning into this frequency. So it's like a radio that can be where the station can be found with a button. And that's what the medium does. It kind of moves the button to a certain frequency. And then once the frequency in the radio is in, it plays a certain music. And as a channel medium, it actually channels a certain frequency, a certain being. And once you tune in to this frequency, it's not only about feeling it or becoming aware of it, because this is the psychic capabilities of it, but actually becoming it, becoming a channel for it. So I am becoming a vessel, a clear vessel, where I take Charlotte, the identity, out of it and become a clear vessel for that frequency to come into my body and actually move through my body. And in this way, the frequency can communicate, can say a message, or whatever it is. And when I channel, it's very interesting because when I feel, I'm more a feeling person, so I feel it, and I have also some visuals. My main sense is feeling. And when I feel it, it's really like I am this being, I am this person. I look through the eyes of this person. I feel like this person. I think like this person. So I really become this frequency. And this is why I also start under parentheses knowing how this person feels or what she wants to say or what the topics are or what this being, it doesn't have to be a person, but a being wants to transmit. So channeling is becoming a frequency. Now, my path to channeling was energy work. And when my students ask me, oh, I want to learn channeling, I want to become a channel medium, then I always say, well, start working with energy first. Why? Because there needs to be a base. And now I know there's many teachers out there that see it completely different. And I'm not saying this is the only way, but I'm saying it's my way. And it's my way because I feel it needs responsibility. It needs a safe space. It needs clarity and awareness to really do this properly. And energy work gives you the tool and the practice of becoming a channel, of becoming that clear vessel, of becoming aware of energies and how it is to feel energies and just let them run through you. Because when you start working with energy, Reiki, I work with Reiki, it can be any other practice as well, then you start feeling the person across from you, or you start feeling the person in your, or seeing the person, or whatever your sense is. You start becoming aware of these energies and you learn how you let them run through you and how you are not becoming affected, that it becomes scary or that it becomes heavy for you or that you have the feeling of overwhelm, but rather than, oh, okay, I'm just a vessel and everything is running through me because I am not the person who does the energy work. Actually, universal energy does the energy work. Because in our daily life, we are our identity. In daily life, I'm just Charlotte walking around with all my problems and all my mind stuff and all what I'm doing. But when I do energy work, I go into awareness, I go into a meditative state, I go into becoming a channel, neutral, and also judgment free. So Charlotte, the identity, is not here and is working with energy, is supporting people on the physical form or in distance. You can also look in my last week's podcast about Reiki. I talk about that more. And this is a solid base because once you understand how that is and how that works, a lot of my students automatically start channeling. Not all of them, but some of them, because they are already becoming a channel. They feel safe. They understand they don't have to be overwhelmed. Nothing can happen to them because they're just a channel. So there's different ways of channeling. It's not the only way to channel through voice, but there's also channeling through writing. There's channeling through drawing. There's channeling through music. So there's not one way of channeling, and it really depends on how you are perceiving the world, how you are programmed, how your channel, which senses are the primary senses you're using in your daily life. So there could be a person that actually channels through writing, just closing the eyes and letting the messages out through the writing form, or singing, or anything that I mentioned before, drawing. And I want to give you some hints already how you can practice to come into this vessel and become into this more intuitive state. And number one you can do is practice awareness. And awareness is practiced through meditation. So there's many forms of meditation, and I will record a body scan meditation and many other meditations in the next months. But awareness is very important because it means I'm becoming aware of the present moment, what is here right now, and becoming aware, just being here in this current moment. This is very important for energy work as also for channeling, because without awareness, you will drift off into your mind, which is your ego, and you will lose the connection and you will work from a different place. You will not channel, but you will work from your subconscious, or you will be very drained. You will be overwhelmed and you will feel very heavy of all the energies. So awareness and a meditative state are very important. And it's something that I train in my courses all the time in a very subtle way, but I do it. The second thing that I can recommend if you want to walk this path is that you start intuitive writing. For example, that you just get used to writing, closing your eyes, going into a meditative state, and then just start writing whatever comes. Now, there you have to be careful because it can be subconscious from your subconscious. It doesn't necessarily mean you are channeling, but what it does is it gets you used to connecting to a different space. It doesn't matter if it's subconscious or if it's channeling, but it's the muscle you're practicing to connect and just follow whatever comes through, not from your mind, but from just letting it flow through you. So it's not about what you're thinking, it's more about just writing with an empty mind, sort of. And then the third thing, what I can recommend is start working with energy. So if you want to walk this path, then of course you can come to my course, to Reiki, for example, but to any other course as well that teaches energy work and helps you to understand how energy works, how energy moves, how you can start feeling different energies or seeing different energies, whatever your senses are, primary sense is, but to connect to energy and become that channel. Okay. So I hope really that you got a glimpse of what channeling is. And the next week's episode will actually be a channeling aka psychic transmission for you for the month of June. And I can't wait to share this with you. It will be the first one in my Mystic Psychology podcast. And it's very exciting for me because I feel it. I really feel that this energy wants to come through. There's lots of messages that want to come through that can support you. And yeah, I am so happy you were listening. I see you, I feel you, and I hear you. We are all connected. And I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for being here, for your time, for listening, and showing up for your own personal path. If something touched you today, share it with someone who needs to hear it too. And make sure to subscribe and get my weekly newsletter. You can always go deeper at mystic-psychology.com or find me on Instagram. I'd really love to connect to you in person, read your comments and messages. So until next time, stay close to your soul and trust what you feel, follow your intuition, and I can't wait to connect with you again.